Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of the Faculty of Computing, I would like to welcome to you all to the Technical Session 2, Para Session 1 on computing of the 14th International Research Conference of General Sir John Kotalawala Defense University. Due to the prevailing COVID-19 pandemic situation in the country, this conference could not be held physically. Therefore, this session will be conducted online. This technical session is based on the theme of IT for Disruptive Innovations and will be chaired by Dr. J. A. Jeewani. Now, I would like to invite Engineer D.B. Wijethunge to give you a brief introduction on Dr. J. A. Jeewani.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of Faculty of Engineering, I'd like to welcome you all to the Technical Session 2, Parallel Session 1 of the 14th International Research Conference of the Faculty of Computing of General Sri John Kotalawala Defense University. This technical session will be chaired by Dr. Jivani Jaisinga from University of Withana. Dr. Jivani Jaisinga is a senior lecturer attached to the Department of Computer Science at the University of Withana. She obtained her bachelor degree in industrial management from the University of Kalansooriya in 2000. Dr. Jeewani received her master's degree in information technology from Keele University, United Kingdom in 2002. Before she joined to the University of Withana in 2003, she worked as a software engineer and IFS R&D International Private Limited for 3 years. She obtained her PhD degree in information management from the Tilburg University, Netherlands in 2013. After working as a postdoctoral researcher at Tilburg University, she joined the University of Withana in 2014. Later, she was appointed as the head of the Department of Computer Science for the period of 2017 to 2020. Dr. Jeewani's research interests span the field of enterprise modeling, software engineering, business intelligence, web programming, requirement engineering, service-oriented computing, and the business process management. Her teaching experience, spanning over 18 years with a strong research background, has helped many students in the ICT field to reach their academic goals successfully. It is with great pleasure that I invite Dr. Jeewani to share this technical session. Thank you very much. Over to you, madam.
Thank you for the introduction about me. You all are welcome for the technical session 2 with the theme of IT for Disruptive Innovations. There are 5 speakers in this session. I hope we all can hear the novel ideas based on IT-based disruptive innovation in this session. And each speaker is given 10 minutes to present. Then thereafter, again, 2 minutes are given to summarize their presentation. So we will start with the first presenter of today's session. First presenter is Ms. PWJC Withana. Her research title is a novel personalized mobile-based application for systematically monitoring cash transactions. Ms. PWJC Withana is following a BSc Honours Computer Science degree program at the Faculty of Computing of General Sir John Kotalawala Defense University, and currently she is doing her internship at IT Solutions Private Limited as a software engineer. She is interested in web application development, natural language processing. So I invite Ms. Withana to do her presentation.
Thank you, Dr. Jeewani. Good morning, everyone. I'm Withana from Faculty of Computing, KDU. I'm here to present my research on the topic, a novel personalized mobile application for systematically monitoring cash transactions. This is the outline of my presentation. Nowadays, people carry out pretty busy lives working throughout the day, and they apparently don't have time to focus on their daily expenses. And thus they have become more stressed out once they see their monthly or yearly expenses in bills. It has become a must to have some sort of a financial tracking system with them, or they will face immense financial problems. Most of all, it is required for these systems to be secure and interactive systems. There are two main types of personal financial applications, namely the manual applications and linked applications. In manual applications, one has to input all the records manually and indicate the figures and category of each purchase or income. In linked applications, they draw information about the expenses automatically from the bank transactions. Normally, people look for apps that help them quickly manage their money. According to many consumers who link their bank accounts to such apps, are very much concerned about their privacy when they use those apps in money-related tasks. We can see a lot of such systems like web platforms, mobile applications, software, and so on, but most of them don't actually provide an effective solution for the user. Some apps keep track of sensitive data like credit card details, bank account details, and the user may not feel safe to use such platforms, though they make their task easy. Less engagement of the user with the app is another drawback. All the apps that link with bank accounts deals automatically with these accounts to analyze the financial transactions, and then the interest of the user to check the balance in the apps may be often less. So if the usual way of linking financial applications with the bank accounts and getting sensitive information is replaced, where the user only has to upload an image of a receipt, almost every user will be determined to use such an app without any hesitation. So when scanning a receipt from the app, he must have an engagement oftenly with the app so that he can always perceive his financial status and make prior decisions before he runs out of money. So these are some of the related works I have gone through. The first work you can see is a personal financial planning management information system. It uses Visual Basic for programming and adopts the open database method of saving data in an Access database. It has functions like accounting, budgeting, financial planning, and monitoring functions. And the second work done in 2010 is a personal finance management system, which is done using a graphical object-oriented programming methodology. The graphical user interface allows the user to create objects and place them on a graphical timeline, providing financial activity from all the selected objects within a selected time span. The third work included is a web-based application for personal and family use. The development process is done using Rational Unified Process Framework in this result. Next is a personal cash flow program using MS Excel. This has features like tracking financial events, budgeting, and forecasting personal financial expenditure. Next is a personal finance management application which uses overspending message techniques. Here, the recipients will get overspending messages if their spending pattern in a particular day differs from the spending patterns in the current day. The last work mentioned is a system for forecasting of personal cash flow and saving prediction. Here, there are two main parts, namely the forward cash flow estimation and the estimation of the nearest possible date to reach an accumulation target. Both of these are done using a fast microservice-based architecture system and most often use neural network algorithms and applications. So from all these research works, our proposed solution differs in the way it takes the input and provides an automated way of analyzing cash transaction with the receipt-based transaction input approach and letting the user monitor it using his own mobile. This proposed solution will not only automate the process of managing cash, but also it will safeguard the user's privacy. And this is the process I have gone through. In the proposed research, first the user will have to upload the receipt image after capturing it from the camera, or he can also upload it from the phone gallery to the app. Then the image will be uploaded to the database. Afterwards, the user can select the image and send it for further processing. First, the image will go under some image pre-processing steps, like then it will be segmented to take off the receipt from the whole image. After performing the image processing part, text recognition of the receipt is done using Tesseract optical character recognition engine. The recognized text will then be saved in the form of a text file. Using this text file, information will be extracted and text classification will be done to categorize the receipts. Then the results will be displayed to the user through the mobile application. Here, as I explained in the methodology, after the image is captured, the image is born under some image pre-processing because of various fluctuations that occurs for the signal resulting in noise. Here I have applied a noise filtering technique and then applied gamma correction. After that, image segmentation is done using Fourier transformation to separate the image from the whole image. After that, it was very easy to extract the text using Tesseract OCR. From the text that I have extracted, I have extracted information like the total amount and the date. These are the finally to categorize the receipts. I have into categories. I have used a text classification model. I was only able to categorize for 2 categories: grocery and clothing, due to lack of data. And random forest classifier has produced the best accuracy. And you can see the results in a confusion matrix, which describe the performance of the model visually. As further works to this project, I propose some development of a finance guidance for the users, that as there is no guidance given through this app, only monitoring feature is provided. Also, this app is only suitable for personal use, but it can be made using suitable for business use. Another further work proposed is to develop a web application, and also as a further work, the number of categories can be increased. These are the references I have gone through. I would like to thank my supervisors for supporting and guiding me in this research, and all senior lecturers and friends who made me a success. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Withana, for your valuable research work. So we will come at the end when we have the question and answering. We are again meet you to ask our questions. So thanks again. We will move to the next presenter today. The second presenter is Ms. WLSV Liyanage. Her research title is Implementation of Smart Pet Care Applications in an IoT-based environment. Ms. WLSV Liyanage is a final year undergraduate student of the Information Technology Department at General Sir John Kotalawala Defense University. The research interest areas are computer networks, operations, and Internet of Things. So I invite Ms. Liyanage to start her presentation.
Can you see the screen?
Yes, we can.
Good morning, Chairperson, ladies and gentlemen. Today I'm presenting my review paper on the implementation of smart pet care application in an IoT-based environment. This is a literature-based systematic review paper I evaluate the impact of IoT concept on smart pet care application here. This is the overview that I'm going to address you throughout my presentation. First, let me give you a brief introduction about the topic. The idea of information technology and machines has been rising demand and leads to the concept of interconnection between humans and machines. This concept has adopted the negative impact of human lives and their well-being. Because of this negativity, people tend to adopt pets to get emotional support even with the busy lifestyle. But pets require extra care and special attention. This is not easy as it used to be with the busy lifestyle. As a result, one of the significant challenge I have been figuring out have been how to grow pets in a simple way. The best solution for this kind of problem is use new innovative technologies. In this manner, I identified the IoT concept can provide proper solution. But before providing such kind of IoT solution, we need to analyze and figure out what are the features and technologies of existing pet care application in this area to identify the impact of IoT concept in smart pet care applications. As methodology, I have reviewed research papers about the impact of IoT concept on existing pet care applications, specifically in reading tasks, and selection of papers for the review. The study was performed using secondary data. The systematic approach was performed to gather data from published research papers studied on IoT-based smart pet care applications. As the main source for conducting this research, I use ACM Digital Library, IEEE, and ResearchGate libraries. For this selection criteria, I use several steps. As first step, related researchers were gathered and identified the keywords, and both manual and automated searches were performed to select the most recent and most suitable researchers. The exclusion research criteria was followed to remove unrelated researchers. The research selection process is conducted in order to find modern technologies. I have given special attention to recently done projects. When conducting the analysis part, I understood that many modern technologies are mentioned in those papers, and some papers were suggested future recommendation for this area. As the next step, the research findings were summarized in tabular format because that is easier to review. In this context, it helped to identify the impact of IoT concept for providing the most suitable and most relevant features and technologies for developing this kind of application. And these are the referred publications and researches. I have gathered totally 13 research papers for the content. Out of those researches, 8 papers were discussed about the technologies and features of existing pet care applications now in the industry, and 5 research papers were discussed about the user awareness and people awareness of the smart pet care applications potential with the IoT concept. These are the identified technologies of previous studies. When analyzing the previous studies, some key IoT-based technologies were highlighted. Most of the papers were talking about the pet collar that can be used for detecting locations of the pet. With the pet collar, pet owners can track the pet easily. Those papers were suggested many kind of IoT features, RFID, GPS, Bluetooth and Wi-Fi, like those technologies. And for the motion detection and monitoring the behavior of the pet, most of the papers were suggested IR sensors, numerous network devices, motion detection cameras. And for the scheduling the daily activities, most of the papers were suggested RTC module. This is a new module. We can monitor the pets and remind the pets daily activities according to their behavior. For further reviewing concept, I have gathered those main features. First, AI and deep learning capabilities for suggesting scheduling the pet activities according to the pet age and pet weight, other things. And the second concept is provide the pet care services from one dedicated applications like veterinary clinic, pet care pet products, pet daycare centers. Mainly Sri Lanka does not have that kind of application. And real-time database for keep track of pet health. And last concept is mobile application. The reason for this kind of concept is mobile application is easy to handle and with this busy lifestyle. These are the limitations when analyze the literature on this kind of area. I have found these limitations. When I'm implementing this kind of IoT-based application, we have to focus on these limitations, mainly the lack of awareness of this knowledge on the pet owners. When talking about technologies, most of the people are not familiar with this kind of modern technologies. Then the cost of the smart pet care application with IoT-based equipment, it will be higher than the normal pet care application. Then the time it takes to adjust with new technologies, most of the people do not aware with the technology and they are hesitate to move on with them. When implementing IoT device to find the needs of the pet owners, we have to focus on this kind of area. We need, when implementing IoT concept, we need infrastructures like Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, and those technologies also. These are the conclusion and recommendation. To get the conclusion and recommendation, I have done a systematic review to analyze the research papers and existing pet care applications. As a summary of my review, I would say, first, I identified the exact requirement of the pet, then conducted the IoT-based pet care applications, and I figure out that IoT concept can provide the proper solution. Then I analyzed the most suitable IoT technologies for pet care application. The new idea of combining pet care with IoT is delivered by existing future development. The final outcome of this IoT-based mobile application that satisfy the user requirement by analyzing those data. The result not only present the biggest advancement of IoT concept toward the pet care application, but also explore the impact of IoT concept on this area. Those technologies were found out reviewing those research papers. These are the references I have followed. As acknowledgement, I would like to express my sincere gratitude to my supervisor, Dr. Niroshan Wedasinghe, for guiding me throughout this research. Thank you.
Yes, thank you for nice presentation of Ms. Liyanage. We will again meet you with the panel at the end of the session with questions. So now we move to the next presentation. The next presenter is Ms. KPMK Leelarathne. Her research title is Optimum Waste Collection System with Smart Mobile Application. Ms. KPMK Leelarathne is a student of Intake 34 and followed BSc Honours Computer Science degree program at the Faculty of Computing of General Sir John Kothawala Defence University. And she worked as a trainee software engineer and specialized in business system support analyst in Pepperbrain IT Solution Private Limited. She also worked as a software project coordinator at Skill Labs Private Limited, and currently she is working at Camso Global Business Services Private Limited Global IT team as an application consultant. She is interested in data science, business intelligence, project management, and software business process models. Yes, Ms. Leelarathne, over to you.
Thank you, Dr. Jeewani. Good morning, all of you. I am Maheshika Kavindya Leelarathne from Intake 34 of Faculty of Computing, General Sir John Kothawala Defence University. My research title is Optimum Waste Collection System with Smart Mobile Application. This is the content of my presentation. First of all, let's move to the introduction. Irregular disposal and collection of wastage is a huge problem in cities currently we are facing. Due to rapid population growth and the manipulation of the urbanization, it may occur a huge garbage emission and environmental pollution too. And Sri Lanka generates 7,500 metric tons of solid waste per day. Each person generates an average of 1 to 0.4 kilograms of waste per day. And the most critical thing is, according to the Waste Management Authority and the Central Environmental Authority statistics, only half of the waste generated is collected. As individuals, we need to be responsible for our own waste generations, and in parallel, the collection authorities, urban authorities should have to pay attention and well regularize to facilitate the waste collection procedures in a well manner. And this shows the percentages of provincial-wise waste generation by local authorities in Sri Lanka. And next, the problem definition. Traditional waste management has a high cost of fuel, and also there can be health issues. An increased level of environmental pollution also occurred due to this improper waste collection and time wasting due to the traffic jam and overflowing bins, improper and inefficient collection processes, and another problem is lack of proper knowledge and awareness of citizens. Further, when it has done research and gathered information about current waste collection procedures in Sri Lanka and as well as global resources regarding the waste collection process, it can be concluded as following with main points. In Sri Lanka, it has usually 5 days waste collection procedures. Only the well-developed countries use fully automated method for waste collection from the scratch. And also, truck drivers are still unable to drive through narrow street and rural villages to fulfill the waste collection process in proper manner. Proposed solution is Optimum waste collection system with a smart mobile application. And basically, in this proposed system, there are multiple waste bins are located in the particular location in particular cities, and those dustbins are provided with ultrasonic sensors that helps in tracking the filling level of each bins with a unique ID for each bin. And then when it reaches the full level of filling wastage, it transmits the data for the particular urban councils, and they can view through the app to start the collection process. Those are the issues to be investigated and addressed via this proposed model. It consists 2 main parts. One is smart bin as a one proposed model, and in parallel, it included the shortest path for the truck drivers to fulfill their collection process. And this is a literature review. For this, I have considered some various technologies all over the globe, and according to that, mainly used technologies can be reviewed as IoT, machine learning, Arduino, Google Map, RFID kind of technologies, and those are the existing systems. And the specific novelty and main point is that still there is not any existing system, similar system in Sri Lankan context to fulfill the waste collection process by a mobile application. The aim of my research work is to critically analyze the drawbacks, challenges of the existing procedures in waste collection and to develop a system with a mobile application for truck drivers and as well as the citizens to facilitate optimum waste collection process with an efficient manner in order to save the time and cost and contribute for exposure of Go Green concept as a whole country. Those are the main objectives of the research. And the next methodology, it has divided into several phases. First thing is collecting data. For that, it has used citizens and municipal authorities by conducting some interviews, one-to-one interviews and questionnaire survey and observations. And then another part is we need to collect the data for the smart bins using ultrasonic sensors. And then it indicates the fill level of bins via the ultrasonic sensors and send those data to the cloud via GSM module and analyze those data, and via Google Map API platform, the nearest bin and bin level locations can be viewed by the truck drivers. This also a further explanation in methodology, taking sensor data reading from the sensor circuit placed in the bin and pushing those data to the database. For that, I have used in here Firebase and retrieving information from database for calculations and the nearest bin. As an example scenario, the collect garbage from the bins whose filling level is over 70, and it shows in red color bins in the app. And then garbage collection truck drivers geolocation also view and find the nearest bin for the dumping garbage. This is in one diagram. It shows high-level system design architecture overall. It shows the one side in the user and another side the database, and both of that it aligns this mobile application as the mobile interface. This is the proposed model architecture in a very descriptive manner. As I said earlier, it can gather data from those censored smart bin and devices, and it transforms those data to the cloud server. And next step, it analyzes this trash filling level, and by condition, apply a condition if empty and 0 to 70 and over 70% indicate to collect the waste. And those are the user interfaces of those proposed model. In the first picture, it shows the driver login page. It has a validation process also via sending an OTP for only access the authorized truck drivers of each and every urban council authority. And then it allows the driver after an authorized login, driver enter the driver login page and view the bin locations. In red color, it shows the filled bins, and in green color, it shows the below 70%. And also those are the other interfaces. And finding and analysis, it has mainly conducted interviews and survey with citizens in local area and gathered information from municipal council authorities too. And also, those are another main findings. In the first graph, it shows the number of local authorities wise generated wastage metric tons per day. And in the second scatter plot, it shows that tons per day waste generated, and in y-axis, it shows the populations of municipal council, urban council, and Pradesh Sabha unit wise. And another one kind of finding I have go through is there are national color codes for waste separation containers currently used in, and I think when it need to consider in future developments all those color codes too. And another one main findings for this research problem, I had conducted a questionnaire survey on the regular waste collection process and citizen perspectives in general public to as the initial finding of the research to analyze this research problem moreover and to determine and measure about the factors which may affect for the existing waste collection process. And according to those responses, those findings, this pie chart shows that the percentages of each analysis. And in the first pie chart, it shows the satisfaction level of the current waste collection procedures in each area. It shows 63.3% of respondents are not fully satisfied with these current procedures in available their areas. And by considering all the facts which I have gathered via the finding and analysis phase, I have summarized these facts and mapped with the proposed solution here. And those are the limitations of this research work. What happens if some overflowing types of bins not filled in the garbage, but this kind of a huge size of even one piece, it fill in the bin. And for this, overcome for this problem, we are going to use bins with lids. So then we hope that we will be able to get rid of this kind of problems. And another limitations show what happens if one of the bin fills and marks as fully filled bin while collecting process of the bins. Generally, by it shows that we actually shows the filling level and the locations for the actual viewing time, not the real-time monitoring. Those are the references of my research work. And I really need to show my gratitude to everyone who has provided us with the information and provided guidance for this research work, and also my colleague RT Niroshan for engage me via this research work. And mainly I wish to express my appreciation to Dr. LP Kalansooriya for supervision and supporting me and my team to carry out the research work, as well as provide with the expertise to achieve these research objectives. And thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Leelarathne. I think you addressed a currently burning issue in Sri Lanka. So we will meet you again in the question and answer session at the end of this session. So I move to the next presenter now. Next presenter is Ms. Sumudika Mendis. Her research title is Mobile-Based Feedback System for Undergraduates, Academics, and Administrative Staff of Higher Education Institutes in Sri Lanka. Ms. Sumudika Mendis graduated from Horizon campus in 2020 with first class of BSc Honours in Information Technology degree, and developed the mobile-based feedback system to fulfill the requirement of the final year project. Currently, she is working as a quality assurance engineer. Further, she was awarded the Dean's List in all 4 years during the degree program. Her research interested areas are mobile applications, quality automations, AI for testing, and cloud computing. I invite Ms. Sumudika to present her research finding.
Thank you, Miss. Good morning, everyone. I'm Sumudika Mendis. Thank you for giving this opportunity for me to present this research paper. I am the main author of this research paper. Co-authors are Ms. Wickramasinghe and Mr. Sunesh Hettiarachchi. My final year project at Horizon campus is mobile-based feedback system for the Higher Education Institute. So this research paper is based on that. This is the outline of my presentation. Firstly, I talk about problem statement of my research paper. Student feedback is one of the good quality assurance in higher education institute. At present, most of the higher education use paper-based feedback method to collect the feedbacks from the students. So that method has some limitations and some issues. Therefore, management of the higher education has to spend a considerable amount annually to duplicate feedback forms. And also management has to analyze the feedback responses are manually using like Microsoft Excel. Therefore, can be human error. Other thing is number of undergraduates are keep on increasing and limited staff to collect the student feedback from all faculties in the institute, and also take long time to issue feedback outcome to the relevant parties in the institute, and response rate is low, and also need proper storage capacity to store paper feedback forms. So those are the main issues of the current paper-based feedback method. Then literature review. I review number of similar type feedback system during the literature review. Here are the main literature reviews. First one is online student feedback system. It has registration function, student management function, student feedback about lecturer, and it provides the generate the reports, and that generated report can be viewed by the relevant people. Second one is online survey software. SurveyMonkey, that has limited questions. If you want to add more questions, you have to pay. And also it provides the real-time analysis with the graph view. Third one also similar to the first one. It also has registration function, user management functions, student feedback about subject. Fourth one is mobile-based student feedback system. It also has student feedback about staff members, generate report. That generated report can be viewed by relevant people. So when reviewed those related works, I could found some systems were not fully completed. Some system has have limited functionality. So there is a need for another good feedback system. Then research method. For this research, the primary data collected through the interviews, questionnaires from the selected undergraduates, academic staff and executive staff in the institute, because they are the main stakeholders of this system. Secondary data collected based on the existing feedback forms in different categories. Iterative waterfall methodology used for the develop this system, because some function or changes may be added according to the user requirement during the development. Then system overview. According to the system overview, the mobile feedback application has two main users, student and lecturer. Student can provide feedbacks under their student feedback categories as an anonymous person. Lecturer can provide the feedbacks under lecturer feedback categories using this mobile application. Then there is a standalone system for the admin and executive staff. Admin can log to that standalone system using predefined login credential, and admin can generate the feedback graph reports and view and download those generated feedback graph, feedback analysis reports and graph. And also admin and executive staff both can view overall feedback outcomes under each feedback category. Here are the main UIs of the this system. These UIs for the student. This is the first screen of the student. This is the first screen of the mobile application. Student can click this student button and they navigate to this screen. This screen includes with the student feedback categories. Student can provide the feedbacks to these feedback categories. This is the feedback form. Then these UIs for the academic staff. Academic staff can click this academic staff button and they can log to the application. This is the available feedback categories for the lecturers. This is the feedback form. Then these UIs for the admin. Admin can log to the standalone system using predefined login credential, and admin can navigate to this admin dashboard. If admin want to analyze or generate report or graph for the each feedback category, they can admin can click this student feedback button or staff feedback button. If admin want to view overall feedback outcomes for the each feedback category, they can admin can click this overall outcome. When admin click student feedback button, admin navigates to this window. This window include with the student feedback categories. When admin click this lecture evaluation button, admin navigates to this screen. Then admin can provide these needed data and click load button. Then report will be generated. If admin want to create graph or charts for that loaded data, admin can click this pie chart to bar chart. Then chart will be generated. Then these UIs for the executive staff. Executive staff for admin wants to view overall feedback outcomes. They can click this overall outcome button and they navigate to this window. This window includes with the all feedback categories. Then if admin or executive staff member click lecture evaluation button, they navigate to this window. Then they can select which faculty and click OK. Then lecture evaluation overall outcomes will be loaded for that selected faculty. So that is my proposed mobile-based feedback system. Then conclusion. This mobile feedback system eliminates the limitation of the paper-based feedback method. Due to the pandemic, most of the institute are now lecturing online. So this feedback system is very useful to provide the feedback without any interruption, even in such a situation. Then these are the references. Then acknowledgement. My sincere thanks go to my project supervisor, Ms. Samanthi Wickramasinghe, and research methodology lecturer, Mr. Sunesh Hettiarachchi, for their massive support during the app development and developing this research paper as co-authors. Thank you.
Yes, thank you, Ms. Sumudrika. Again, we are meeting you at the end of this session with questions. So I will move to the next presenter now. She is Ms. SMKH Hemali. Her title of the research paper is Automated Software Bug Management System for Small Scale Organization. Ms. SMKH Hemali is a fourth-year student in the Department of Information Technology at General John Kothawala Defense University, and currently she is doing her internship at Data Capture Expert Private Limited as a software quality assurance engineer. She is interested in mobile application development, cloud computing, geographical information system, and artificial intelligence. She also presented a research paper at the ICADA International Conference last year, titling Internet of Things for Healthcare, a comprehensive survey for the state-of-art architecture. So, Ms. Hemali, over to you now.
Thank you, madam. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Kenita Hashani from Intech 35, Faculty of Computing. Here is the topic I supposed to deliver: automated software bug management system for small scale organization. Here is the content of the presentation. In introduction, during every stages of a given software development process, the corresponding software system generates miscellaneous types of defects. Without any bug management process, software development organization cannot survive in the industry. Bug managing is very difficult task and had to do prior work. When working on huge software development project, bug management become even more difficult. Here, I show you a bug management life cycle with 6 stages: discovery, categorization, resolution, closure, and reporting. Now I explain how software bug management becomes a challenge. Manual processes of everywhere is time wasting and budget wasting and effort wasting. So manual bug management also follow these concepts. In software development industry, the workers simultaneously work different projects at one time. It can be a challenge of managing their bugs on time. Most of bugs can be found in testing stages of SDLC, and you can mainly discuss dynamic customer requirement and duplicate bug records are other challenges. These are the related works I used in this research. According to this past researchers, I can see what are the existing software systems and what are the existing technologies they use.
I think she has a connectivity problem. I think we can see the recorded version of her presentation because of connectivity problem with her.
We can't hear. Is it audible to others?
And technologies. These are the related works I used in this project. Automated duplicate detection for bug tracking, emotional sides of software developers in Jira, impact of bug management patterns on bug fixing, Bugzilla, IT Tracker and other bug trackers, bug characteristics of open source software, how to chat technology enable social transactions in bug report activities, machine learning techniques for software defect detection. Here is the methodology. According to the methodology, I used mixed approach for gathering data. Here is the steps to conduct methodology. Refer the previous research publications and sort some key information. After, make questionnaire for gathered primary data. Then, select the statistical sample for gathering information. Then, online interviewing was used to conduct the interview. Then, to identify research problems and analyze primary and secondary data. Then, identifiers were mapped with the related work. Here is the research objectives. The research objective is to identify if small-scale organizations have sufficient budget to manage bugs, provide facility to communicate between testers, developers, and other team members via comment, forecast the performance of each developer and each bug after you have entered the system. Determine how the user will view each software bugs in terms of its features, and others are here. Here is the analysis of the research. According to the analysis of gathered information, these are the findings. Not having required amount of money, not having the required amount of technical support, unable to manage time, unable to control duplicate records, and communication weaknesses. Here is the design. In design, here is the conceptual design diagrams of the proposed system. According to the proposed system, design system inputs are test NG report, test screenshots of a bug, and images related to the bug. Then stakeholders are quality assurance engineers, developers, project managers, product owners, and admins. Only one system admin are there. After end of system process, it will generate system generated report such as bug status report, performance related reports, and summary reports. Here is the technology I used. In communication process, between front end and back end, I use Vue Js and Beautify Js for front end, and back end I used Node.js and Express.js, and use JSON, the text-based language, to transmit data between front end and back end. Why use Express.js as the back end? Developers Node.js web application quickly and easily, and it's simple to set up and personalization. Allow you to define application route using HTTP method and URLs. HTTP method, then used HTTP method, it is most secure. Why use Vue.js? Vue.js simply integrate and customize, highly customizable, user friendly, and few restrictions have. So here is the proposed system implementation. This is a web-based system that can be utilized on both mobile and desktop devices. This proposed system has 5 modules: bug, project, label, etc. Every module manages a unique task. There may be only one login page in the system. That's why only admin can create accounts. In the system, each user role has its own set of functionalities. Provide facility to review bug history records, and the system allows you to assign a bug to it, and it will generate a unique bug ID for each one for identification purpose. The system was implemented to submit the bug as image, screenshot, and embedded technical reports such as TestNG report for each reported bug for developers' best identification. Predict each developer's performance. The proposed system can manage several types of bugs, provide a facility to communicate between team members via comments on each reported bug. Any local small-scale organizations can use that suggested system. The proposed system is most appropriate for project teams who have fully automated test suite for their testing. The proposed system should be purchased for a low price, and it is platform independent and highly customizable. After implementation of the proposed system, it can be generate different types of system generated reports. Earlier I mentioned that reports. Here is the recommendation and conclusion of the project. The software development industry is constantly looking for new ways to implement services and always decrease time consumption. There may be a high probability when small-scale organizations haven't sufficient budget to handle that situation. The number of bugs or defects can cause significant financial loss for both software developers and customers. There is a clear need for an automation bug management process that combines previous separate activities. Limitation: SQL database. It is spending to extra time to configure and write some queries. While configuring some software, it may generate compatibility issues and always struggle in that issues. The function of the system is always efficient when it has automated test code for their application. And finally, there is no module to tracking real-time bugs. Future enhancement: improve the accuracy of duplicate bug report using machine learning techniques, improve bug tracking process, enhance that bug report security using cloud technologies, improve accountability of communication between team members via using social media platforms. These are the references. Acknowledgement: it is highly required to express my deep and sincere gratitude to my lecturer, Mrs. TGI Udayangi, Information Technology Department, General Sir John Kotharavala Defence University, for giving me the opportunity to make this research and provide invaluable guidance throughout this. Thank you.
Yes. Thank you for all the presenters so far. I think we all are curious about asking some questions from each presenter. Maybe our panel, they can introduce themselves when they are asking questions. I start with questions from the first speaker. Let me see. Yes. So my questions first goes to Ms. Withana, who presented a paper with a novel personalized mobile application for systematically monitoring cash transactions. So very interesting topic you have presented. But I have my question. So personalized wallet or money monitoring system is very, very personal, and the personal data are there. So what are the techniques you use to enhance the privacy of this data?
Yes, doctor. Actually, in my receipt, I don't take any details, sensitive details. Only the process is carried on using the input taken from the receipt. Image input is only taken, and like bank details, very sensitive details are not taken from the user, because user may be like he may not like to give such details to like unknown apps. So I only take as input the images of the receipts.
Okay. And I have another small questions, because in Sri Lanka we use in your application, I think it needs a receipt always to the transactions without having receipt. How you can tackle with your system?
Actually, I didn't build any part for that, but in that app, I can also make the user enter his own manually. He can enter the transaction.
Yes, your app will be more useful if you
for non-receipt transactions. Maybe he can use a manual way.
So I invite for other panel members first to introduce themselves first and ask questions from Ms. Withana.
Okay, it's a very good research. I'm Dr. Wijethunge, and also I think you all know that we are selecting the best paper also. So then this question and answers also will be useful for us to judge the best paper. And my question is, how do you validate your system and check and assure that it is the best one, like that?
I'm going to use a set of sample receipts, like not very clear images, and I'm going to also test for long receipt bills and taken from various shops, and do that validation part.
Then based on your validation, what is the accuracy level you received?
Actually,
what level it is accurate?
For the text classification part, that means the receipt categorization, I got 99.84% accuracy, but for that text recognition part, I'm still testing on it, because it's my final project, and I'm still carrying out the testing part for that part.
Okay, thank you very much.
Welcome.
Other members of the panel?
Okay, I am Dr. KPMK from Sabaragama University. I just want to ask you if there are any suspicious activity, any transaction, how you are going to handle throughout your system?
Suspicious means like I'm not taking any sensitive details, therefore I don't think it will affect the security of the user.
Okay, so then there are a lot of existing mechanism also. There are these kind of research. So it's better if you can add those stuff into your research and modify the proposed method.
Yeah, thank you. I will consider it.
Thank you.
Any other members in the panel? If there are no other questions, I think your presentation is good, but as the other panel members raised, there are generic issues you have to address to bring up this application to more valuable and more useful for the society. So thank you again to Ms. Withana. Then I am moving to the questions. I am forwarding to the question for the next presenter, Ms. Liyanage. Ms. Liyanage, her research title is Implementation of Smart Pet Care Application in an IoT-based environment. I'm quite curious about asking something, because this is a generic question I am asking. Pets are different. For example, dog is different from a parrot. Their behavior is different. So are you pay any attention for that kind of behavior because you are going to implement or attach IoT-based equipment to find out the movement of these pets? Their movements are basically behavior. Based on the behavior, the detection, the equipment should be also different. Did you pay any attention for that?
Yeah, madam. I mainly focused on the main breeds, like main generic breeds, and I'm planning to use some sensors like an emotional detection cameras to identify the generic behaviors of the pet. Then I can adjust the system according to that. I just only focused on the main breeds like Rottweiler, Labrador, like those generic breeds.
Okay, not all categories of pet means, yeah. Okay, I can understand. Yes. Again, I invite for the other members of the panel to ask their questions from Ms. Liyanage.
Yes, thank you. Ms. Liyanage, I just want to ask you, what is the novelty of your research? What is the research aspect of your research? Actually, this is just implementation. So what kind of research aspect that you integrate into your research?
Yeah, madam, in Sri Lanka, we don't have much applications like integrate with mobile application with IoT-based equipments. I have searched those applications, but I haven't found implementation of all the required requirements in one application, one specific application. So I'm planning to implement IoT concept with mobile application that would be very useful for Sri Lankan users. We can found those up from around the globe, but in Sri Lanka, we don't have such application so far. We can get...
Yes.
Yeah,
when we connect, yes, continue.
We can get head collars like those things from the market, but we can guarantee them, and they come without the applications like mobile application. I'm going to implement a real-time database with mobile application, and I'm planning to add all the pet services to the application. Yeah.
Yeah, but when we consider if it is not in the Sri Lankan domain, it's not the novelty actually. If this kind of system is existing everywhere in the world, okay, we can't get, if it is not in the Sri Lankan domain, we can't actually say it's a novelty of your research, okay, but you can add more features like, are there any real-time monitoring system,
Yeah,
alarming system?
Yeah,
in your system?
as I said in the presentation, I'm planning to use RTC. That's a new module, a real-time clock. I'm still studying on that. From that module, you can monitor and schedule their behavior, schedule the activities according to their behavior.
Okay, so if there are any unexpected behavior occur, okay, so how it can be notified to the pet owner? What kind of mechanism is there?
Yeah, I'm planning to add the alarm to the application. I'm implemented the virtual fence for just now. For now, from that you can find the you can get the alarm when the pet goes outside the boundary. And for the IR sensors and for sensors to monitor the pet, I'm planning to implement the alarm kind of thing. As I said before, only implement this for some specific breeds, generic breeds, like yeah.
Okay, so it's better to add a more reliable performance monitoring system and also testing and evaluation. Okay, so that is very important to add to your research work. How to evaluate your system, how to verify the accuracy of your system, those things should be incorporated with your research. Then only it will become a research study. Okay, okay. Thank you.
Okay, I'm again Dr. Wijendra Gunathilaka. I have a question. Now there are different kinds of pets, different types, cats, dogs, rabbits, parrots, whatever. And the behavior is different. And there are some standards also related to the veterinary. So how did you consider these factors in your research?
Actually, madam, just implemented for dogs, only for dogs, just for now. Didn't consider the pets, parrots, cats, and other pets. Just consider about the dogs. Yeah. I have talked to several veterinarians and got those details. I'm planning to implement those things with the application.
Okay then, thank you very much.
Thank you, ma'am.
Yes, seems to be there are no more questions for you. Then,
madam.
Yeah, thank you for your presentation and also for your answers. And I think you have to take into account the point raised by the panel. Some of those are very, very important to become a research article or research work. So improve your that as well. So thank you, and yeah, sure. And I move to the next presenter. I think the third presenter. Yes, is Miss Leelarathne. Her research topic was optimum waste collection system with smart mobile application. My basic question is, there are very novel approaches, very novel solution for this garbage in Sri Lanka. For even in your news, in news day to day, we can see different approaches, different techniques people are taking. But my basic question is, you provide a solution, how much cost to develop that smart bin, and is it affordable country like Sri Lanka? So that is my basic question first.
Yeah, madam.
Yes.
According to the question, as you said, there are a lot of varieties of methods and approach currently used in Sri Lanka, and some are proposed by governors and some are proposed by the young innovators, that kind of things. But one main target is in our research is to provide this optimum solution in high accurate system with low cost. Because as you said, like a country like Sri Lanka, we need to be budget friendly. For that, I have planned to do as some kind of a validation and evaluate this proposed solution. I have planned to first thing is confirm the product market fit by doing some qualitative researches, and as well as do some analysis over the focus industry and the domain, and then move to the next main key point is low budget. For even our work, for it need to use Arduino and especially low cost ultrasonic sensor we have used. That's how we going to
how much you spend roughly?
Sorry, madam, I couldn't clearly hear.
Yeah, roughly how much you spend. Yeah, this is maybe 1 unit of producing this smart bin. How much you have to spend?
Yeah, roughly it has cost roughly 6,500 for the basic main circuit. If we have to improve and do more improvements and additional features, we have to pay more attention to buy those gadgets. I think.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is one point where we are doing more research in institutes, but it's not affordable or it's not marketable sometimes. So that aspect also we have to take into account when we are doing an innovations. So yeah, I ask other panel members to ask their questions as well from Ms. Leelarathne.
Yes, thank you. Ms. Leelarathne, what kind of sensors that you use for the your waste management system? What kind of sensors?
Mainly use the low-cost ultrasonic sensors facilitate with Arduino Uno board. That are the main hardware part I have used.
Yes. Using your sensors, can you classify your waste as liquid and solid?
Yeah, actually, it is one point we are planned to do in our further improvements in future. And that's why I represented to my analysis and finding phase. We have to pay attention for those color separations in currently using waste collection planner. This is one key point we are paying attention in further improvements. But in current proposed solution up to now, in this extent, we have to pay attention for the bins filling levels, and then by moving we can categorize as the waste generations in paper, plastic, glass. That kind of categorization also can add it to our proposed system.
Okay, so another recommendations that I can add to your system is you can add geotagging system to track the location of the waste bin. And also there's another thing that this is a research project, not just a software implementation one. Okay, so you can add some machine learning, neural networking stuff to classify your data. Waste classification system using machine learning or neural network. So there are many kind of research work also there. So you can develop your own algorithm to classify the waste, and later then you can compare it with the existing mechanism. Okay, so those kind of things you should have to add to your research project when you are going to enhance your research project. Same like the previous one, add good evaluation and the testing process into your research. Okay, that's all.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Sure.
I have the one question. This is very interesting research. Actually, the waste can be used for the producing fuel. So did you consider any point related to this? This can be used as a way of producing biogas or fuel. So what is your idea on this?
Sorry,
Is the
madam.
question clear to you?
Yes, madam. Sorry, here it is a heavy rain in current in my area.
Yeah, I will repeat the question.
Oh, madam. Yeah.
The waste can be used to make biogas or fuel. Okay. So what is your consideration about this in your research?
It means waste categorization of waste generation categories or
No, I mean the waste management is very important. It can be converted into fuel. So,
yeah, madam.
how did you consider that factor in your research?
First of all, I need to thank you, madam, for immerse that idea for me, because in my aim, I have mentioned to exposure go green concept as a whole country. It means go green means minimize the waste generation and improper disposal and collection processes, and as well as in future additional improvements, I really pay attention to start some recycling processes. Facilitate through this app, we can add recycling processes and recycling centers currently active in Sri Lankan context, and likewise we can using those waste we can generate energy, and as well as we can regenerate some useful things by those waste.
Okay then. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Wijendra, and thank you, Ms. Leelarathne, for your research work and your presentation, and for your answering as well. Some of the comments given to you are the further improvement of your product, and some are the recommendation for your research work. So thank you again. Then I'm to the next presenter. I think she is Ms. Uwanthika. Her research work was titling with mobile-based feedback system for undergraduates, academics, and administrative staff of higher educational institutes in Sri Lanka. Here I'm really keen about to see what is your contribution of the research of this work. I saw a kind of implementation to collect the feedback, and some analysis part was there, but I want to see your research contribution of this work. Ms. Uwanthika?
Hello.
Yeah. Is my question is clear to you?
I couldn't hear you. Hello.
Yeah. Okay. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah. I remember your presentation. You develop a kind of a system to get collect the feedback from the students, and then generate kind of analysis or reports, graphs like that, right? Is it? Am I correct?
Yes, Miss.
Yeah. So my question is, this is a kind of research articles we are presenting here. So I want to see your research contribution of this implementation. Otherwise, it's a kind of software development. So what kind of research you have done, or what kind of improvement you have done in this development? So that's what I'm curious about.
I am review some literature reviews similar to the feedback systems. Then I could found some systems have limited functionalities. So that's why I
think this system is useful to eliminate those limitations.
Yeah, it is more or less like a requirement identification, requirement elicitation, or requirement engineering at the beginning of a software development project, rather than that when you come to a research work, there should be a research component to claim that this is a new contribution or novel thing. So actually, I couldn't see that. So aligned with this conference. So I was wondering to see what is your research contribution. So that is my main question regarding your research work or the presentation. So I invite to the other members of the.
Excuse me, I'm Samanthi Wickramasinghe. Actually, I'm a co-author of that Samadhika's research paper. So is it okay if I add something?
Yes, of course.
Yeah. So actually, she has done this system as a requirement of her final year project. So mainly the requirement we had at Horizon Campus, because we are using a manual system. Now only we are using actually because as we are doing online lectures and her system actually we used as a kind of a pilot survey. And the other contribution what you have asked that those evaluation, I mean lecturers evaluation, we can consider those things during their performance evaluation. That is one thing, the main contribution of that, because there's a system called performance evaluation for lecturers, for their incentives, promotions, and all these things. So the student feedback is one of the criteria that we are taking. In that case, this will be doing kind of a main contribution, because the management as one of the function is generating reports and get all things. So based on that, we can consider these things. And the other thing is that not only just taking student feedback, I mean getting student feedback for lecturers. So there are two other ways that we are collecting feedback from students, that is for the library as well as for the whole institute, because to improve quality is one of the main performance indicators of any institute, because as a non-state higher education institute, it's very, very important. So those things also we can consider, because based on the output, the management can consider what can they do from their side. So that's the main contribution. Mainly we focus to the one institute, but I hope this will be useful for other institutes as well. And there will be certain modifications to be done in that case according to their certain systems. So that is what I want to add. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Ms. Wickramasinghe. Yeah, I totally can understand, and I totally agree. The quality assurance are more important in higher education institute. These student feedbacks are considering. My suggestion maybe, if it comes to as a research rather than software development, for example, if you collect the student feedbacks and or the depending on the course, maybe attributes are different. If your system can suggest different attributes when collecting feedbacks from the students for depending on the course, you can run an algorithm, or you can select the best algorithm to select those kind of properties. Then there is a component of research. So I was curious about that part. Anyway, yeah, your the development is nice. It's timely, important. I agree with that. So I see there is a lack of a research component there. That's why I raised that question. Anyway, thank you very much. So both of you, and I asked other members to ask questions.
Thank you, Dr. Jivani. So we will take your suggestion for future development. Thank you so much.
I have one question. It's a good research. Yesterday, even in the plenary sessions, there were speeches on the same topic, but evaluations are different. So there are different kinds of modules like practical modules and tutorials, and also even the subjects are different. Say if the subject is related to engineering, or it's related to computing, or the medical sciences, there is a vast difference between different modules. So how this one particular system can be applied to many different situations? That's my question.
This system developed to the many every faculties. Its main medical student can provide their feedbacks, selecting their faculty. Then that student provide the another feedback forms related to the their subject, and other students also like that. IT student has IT related subject, so that student can select those subject and then provide that related feedback form. Then those every student can provide the feedbacks according to their subject.
Thank you very much for the explanation.
Thank you.
Okay, Sumdika, I totally agree with Dr. Jeewani. Okay, actually, this is a good software development project. Those kind of things you can add it. Okay, and it's very timely. We need this kind of system. But if it is a research project, you should have to add lot of things. Okay, so you should have to find out how does this system, okay, how does this student staff motivation influence with the student engagement, start engagement with this mobile-based assessment system. You should have to compare it with the normal traditional system. Okay, so in your research, you should have to statistically present that idea. Okay, what are the performance metrics that you should have to monitor it, okay, with the traditional system and your automation mobile-based assessment system. If you are going to continue this as a research project, so then you should have to add those kind of evaluation testing process into your mechanism, and also you should have to add some algorithm to predict the system, to algorithm to find out the most relevant assessment mechanism. So these kind of things you should have to add it to your, if you are going to develop this one as a research project. Okay, so that's all that I want to add. Okay, thank you.
Thank you so much.
Yes, thank you. Sumudika, yeah, thank you. And the panel members also, thank for their questions and comments. Those are constructive comments, take it as like that. And yeah, thank you for your presentation as well. Then I'm moving to the last presenter, Miss Hemali. Are you there? Because there was a connectivity problem with her.
Yeah, madam, I'm there.
Okay, so anyway, we listened to your presentation, recorded one. So we got all the things you have done in your research. Her research title is Automated Software Bug Management System for Small Scale Organizations. So I need to clarify, actually, not a question first. Is this for software which are released or under development, your system?
Actually, madam, it's used for developing systems.
Developing systems. So there are systems in, if you look at software development companies, they have tools and they have systems to report bugs and to manage bugs actually until it get fixed. So how your system is different from Did you analyze the features of those two systems and what is the main difference of your one and the maybe
Yeah.
the
Then
other
there
available
are
ones?
two actually. Yeah, madam. Actually, IT Bug Tracker and Bugzilla are the most open source software they used in the industry. And Jira is the Jira is not open source software. But in this case, in my proposed system, I used another platform. That means Eclipse framework. To fully automated who has fully automated test suite, and they can link with that proposed system in their fully automated test code, and after the proposed system can identify what are the gaps in the code level, madam.
Yeah, it's clear for me. Yes. So I ask other panel members to ask questions if you have. Dr. Jaisinga and
Yes. I just want to ask you that you mentioned that there's no any real-time bug tracking system. Okay, how did you verify that one? Did you check with the existing databases? So you mentioned that one. So can you please?
Yeah, madam, it's a one kind of limitation actually. Then most of then Jira and Bug Tracker and Bugzilla is mostly based on entire project management software, not only bug management specifications actually. They control all the projects. They not specify the code levels of the code level bugs, and what are the functional bugs and what are the non-functional bugs and what are the security bugs. That kind of a specification they not follow. Actually, that's why I mentioned the real-time code bug tracking are not in this existing systems.
Okay, so when you are doing a literature review, did you find out the ways that we can improve the bug tracking system? In which ways can we improve the bug tracking system?
Yeah, madam. Actually, in now we can use machine learning and intelligent systems for that purposes.
I have one question. So as well as managing it, the avoiding the bugs also important. How your research support for that?
Madam, when in requirement gathering and other early stages of SDLC, we can input developing codes and developing things of the one of the system and include into that system. Then we can earlier we can identify what are the gaps and what are the bugs in the system.
Yeah, I have one suggestion to you. You can add a lessons learned component to your research that can be used as an industry best practice after identifying those.
Hello.
Dr. Vijendra.
Hello, madam. I can't hear you, madam.
I can hear Miss Hemali, but Dr. Vijendra, I think connection.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shall I repeat? Can you hear me?
Yes, please. Now we can hear you.
Sorry, there was a connection problem. My suggestion is, so as managing the bug, you should have the mechanisms to avoid it in the future projects. So if you have lessons learned component of your project, of your research, it will be useful for the managing future bugs in future projects. So I am suggesting you to add lessons learned component research. Thank you.
Okay, madam.
Yeah, I think there are no more questions. Thank you, Ms. Hemali, for your presentation as well as for answering for the questions. I think all the presenters have done
Okay, madam.
a very good job. All the articles presented here are very interesting. Some are burning problems at national level. Some are timely required requirements. Yeah, different 5 topics actually. Those addresses very interesting areas and very timely needed areas you addressed. So thank you very much for all the presenters to share your research experience and your findings with others. And I should thank the panel members, Dr. Wijendra and Dr. Mrs. Jaisinga as well, to motivate these young researchers, asking questions, giving recommendations as well. And all the co-authors also, I should thank for them as well, and the organizing committee as well. I am thanking all of you to have this session fruitfully. So thank you very much for all of you. Yes.